So the next topic is telescope. So have you seen the recent lunar eclipse? With our naked eye, we can't visualize the phenomena distinctly. Then how can we see the distant objects in a clear manner? It is possible with a telescope. So telescope is an optical instrument to see the distant object. The first telescope was invented by Johann Lippershey. Galileo made the telescope to observe distant stars. He got the idea from a spectacle maker who one day observed that the distant weathercock appeared magnified through his lens system fitted in his shop. Galileo observed the satellite of Jupiter and the rings of Saturn through his telescope. Kepler invented telescope in 1611, which was fundamentally similar to the astronomical telescope. So the next one, types of telescope. According to the optical property, it is classified into two groups: refracting telescope, reflecting telescope. In refracting telescope, lenses are used. Galilean telescope, Keplerian telescope, achromatic refractors are some refracting telescopes. In refracting telescopes, parabolic mirrors are used. Gregorian, Newtonian, Cassegrain telescopes are some of the reflecting telescope. According to the things which are observed, astronomical telescope and terrestrial telescope are the two major types of telescope. Astronomical telescope. Kepler invented telescope, which was fundamentally similar to astronomical telescope. So now let's discuss about the astronomical telescope. An astronomical telescope is used to view heavenly bodies like stars, planets, galaxies and satellites. Terrestrial telescopes. The image in an astronomical telescope is inverted, so it is not suitable for viewing objects on the surface of the earth. Therefore, a terrestrial telescope is used. It provides an erect image. The major difference between the astronomical telescope and the terrestrial telescope is erecting the final image with respect to the object. Advantages of the telescope: elaborate view of the galaxies, planets, stars and heavenly bodies is possible. Camera can be attached for taking photograph for celestial objects. Telescope can be viewed even with a low intensity of light. Disadvantages is frequent maintenance is needed. It is not easily portable one, and so these are the things to. So far we discussed about the reflecting and refracting telescope. So how it works? Why can't you see an object that is far away? The answer is very simple. The object does not take up much space in your eye screen, that is retina. So using a digital camera at 150 feet, the writing on the dime does not cover enough pixels on your retinal sensor for you to read the reading. This can be corrected by bending the light with lenses. Okay, so if you had a bigger eye, you collect more light from the object. This image could be magnified so it stretches out over more pixels in your retina. In a telescope, two pieces make this possible. One is primary lens or primary mirror that is used in refracted telescope, and the second one, primary lens that is used in refracted telescope or primary mirror that is used in reflecting telescopes, and the second one will be eyepiece. And what is the primary or major role of the primary lens or primary mirror? So primary lens is used in refractors. Primary mirror is used in reflectors, which collects most of the light from the distant objects and brings the light or image to a point of focus. An eyepiece takes the bright light from the focus of the objective lens or primary mirror and spreads it out to take up a large portion of the retina. This is the same principle that the magnifying glass uses. It takes a small image on the paper and then spreads it out over the entire retina of your eye so it looks big. Okay, so this is how it works. We discussed, and so let us have a small recap of it. Light is a form of energy of the whole lesson. So light is a form of energy which always travels in a straight line path. The deviation in the path of light is called a refraction. The ratio of speed of light in vacuum to the speed of light in medium is defined as refractive index of that medium. A lens formula. So lens formula is given as 1 by f is equal to 1 by v minus 1 by u. Magnification em is equal to M is equal to h dash by h or v by u, and power of lens is denoted as 1 by f. The ability of the eye to focus nearby as well as distant object is called as power of accommodation of the eye. Microscope is an optical instrument which helps us to see the objects which are very small in dimension. And final topic that we discussed is telescope. Telescope is an optical instrument used to see the distant objects very clearly, and uh, there are a lot more to be discussed. Apart from telescope, we are also having microscope that is to be discussed. So the next topic will be based on, that is, the microscope. Okay, so before that, in telescope we saw the refracting, that is types of telescope: refracting telescope, reflecting telescope, astronomical telescope, and terrestrial telescope, its advantages as well as its disadvantages.